Before history was written, they carved towering figures into the rock.
Across the hidden canyons and remote caves of North America, ancient artists carved and painted figures that still leave researchers stunned today. Towering beings with hollow eyes, stretched bodies, and an almost supernatural appearance stare back at us from stone walls thousands of years old. But here's the unsettling question: who were they supposed to represent? Were these figures gods? Spirits? Ancient shamans? Or could they be memories of something more real? A forgotten race of giants preserved through native legends for generations? Today, we're exploring one of the most controversial mysteries in North American history, the legends of hidden giants. From eerie rock art in the deserts of Utah to stories of red-haired giants in Nevada and strange skeletal discoveries that sparked decades of debate, this is a journey into a side of history most people never hear about. And by the end of this video, you might start looking at ancient rock art very differently. Hidden giants, ancient rock art and the lost tribes of North America. 1. The rock art enigma. Let's start with the rock art itself. Scattered across the American Southwest, especially in Utah's canyon country, you'll find some of the oldest and strangest artwork in North America. Archaeologists call it the Barrier Canyon style. These pictographs may date back thousands of years, possibly created by archaic hunter-gatherers long before the rise of the ancestral Puebloans. And honestly, they don't look like ordinary humans. Many of the figures tower over everything around them. Some stretch 6 to 9 feet tall across the canyon walls. Their bodies are elongated and ghost-like. Arms and legs are tiny, or missing entirely. Faces are blank except for dark, hollow eyes that seem to stare directly at you. Some even appear to wear horns, elaborate headdresses, or strange ceremonial markings. In places like Sago Canyon and Black Dragon Canyon, these massive figures dominate entire rock panels, standing above smaller. In places like Sago Canyon and Black Dragon Canyon, these massive figures dominate entire rock panels, standing above smaller human forms almost like rulers, spirits, or watchers. Even modern visitors describe the experience as unsettling. And that raises a fascinating question: why make these figures so enormous? One theory is spiritual. Researchers suggest these images may represent shamans experiencing altered states of consciousness during rituals. Others believe they depict supernatural beings tied to religion or cosmology. But another possibility keeps resurfacing in both folklore and fringe archaeology: what if these images were inspired by real encounters? Native oral traditions from multiple tribes describe powerful giant beings that once walked the land, sometimes helping humans, other times hunting or terrorizing them. Transition: ancient map animation spreading across North America. 2. Legends of the giants. What makes this mystery even stranger is how widespread the giant legends are. Across North America, stories of oversized human-like beings appear again and again in tribal traditions separated by thousands of miles. One of the most famous comes from the Paiute people of Nevada. According to their oral history, a tribe of red-haired giants known as the Ctacah once lived in the region. The name roughly translates to tule eaters, referring to the reeds they used to build rafts across lakes and marshes. But these weren't peaceful neighbors. The legends describe them as violent, cannibalistic, and physically much larger than ordinary people. Eventually, multiple tribes united against them in a final conflict centered around Lovelock Cave in Nevada. As the story goes, the remaining giants hid inside the cave while their enemies sealed the entrance and smoked them out. It sounds like mythology, but Lovelock Cave is real. And excavations there uncovered thousands of artifacts, ancient tools, and human remains that fueled decades of speculation. And the Paiute aren't alone. The Iroquois spoke of massive stone giants roaming ancient forests. Cherokee traditions describe giant races that existed before their ancestors arrived. Algonquin legends tell of cannibal giants and towering supernatural beings tied to ancient conflicts. What's remarkable is the consistency. Again and again, the stories describe beings that are unusually tall, physically powerful, sometimes pale or red-haired, and often feared by surrounding tribes. Some legends even place them alongside Ice Age animals like mammoths. Could these stories preserve distorted memories of real ancient groups? Or are they symbolic myths that evolved independently over time? That's where the controversy begins. 3. Skeletons, mounds, and the controversy. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, newspapers across America became obsessed with reports of giant skeletons. Stories appeared from Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Nevada, Arizona, and dozens of other states describing human remains measuring 7, 8, or even 9 feet tall. Some reports mentioned oversized weapons, double rows of teeth, unusual skull shapes, or red hair preserved in burial sites. Many of these discoveries allegedly came from ancient mound sites built by prehistoric cultures throughout the Mississippi and Ohio River valleys. At the time, giant skeleton stories were so common they almost became routine headlines. But there's a major problem: most of the physical evidence either disappeared, was poorly documented, or turned out to be exaggerated. Skeptics argue that many accounts were likely newspaper sensationalism, mistaken measurements, or outright hoaxes. In some cases, normal human remains may have appeared larger due to burial distortion or incomplete excavation methods. And red hair? Hair can naturally change color over time because of chemical reactions in soil and air exposure. Still, the mystery refuses to disappear. Why? Because some historical reports came from respected archaeologists, local historians, or institutions connected to early Smithsonian research. That's led to decades of conspiracy theories claiming important discoveries were hidden or ignored because they challenged accepted views of North American prehistory. There's no verified scientific evidence proving a race of giants existed. But the sheer number of legends, stories, and historical claims keeps people asking questions. And to be fair, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. At the same time, ancient history is full of discoveries that once sounded impossible, until evidence finally emerged. 4. Lost tribes and forgotten histories. Visuals, migration maps, cave dwellings, cinematic desert landscapes. So what could these giants actually represent? Some researchers think the stories may preserve memories of unusually tall warrior groups or elite ruling classes. Others believe they could reflect encounters between different ancient populations arriving in North America at different times. There are also theories connecting giant legends to pre-Clovis peoples, human groups who may have lived in the Americas before the migrations traditionally taught in textbooks. And then there's the symbolic explanation. In many cultures, giants represent chaos, power, fear, or ancient enemies. The towering figures in rock art may not have been literal beings at all, but spiritual archetypes designed to inspire awe and warn future generations. Whatever the truth is, one thing becomes clear: ancient North America was probably far more complex than we once believed. From haunting canyon paintings to stories passed down for centuries, the legends of North America's hidden giants continue to blur the line between myth and history. Thanks for watching.